MovieWeb.com.
Hey, I'm Jamie Philbrook with MovieWeb.com, and we're here in Rachel, Nevada at the footsteps of the infamous Area 51, and we're getting ready to talk to some of the cast and crew of the new alien comedy, Paul. Here's what Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and director Greg Mottola had to say about the hilarious new film. I'm gonna go hunt some aliens.
Two grown men.
I cannot believe we're gonna see Area 51.
One green man.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Are you gonna probe us?
Why does everyone always assume that?
From the Earthling who directed Superbad.
I really need your help.
I want E.T. back in his cage.
Seth Rogen is perfect as Paul.
What are you doing? Just watch.
It's a miracle.
Was it always in the plan to do an alien spoof? I mean, you guys did the action movie, you did the zombie thing. Was it always the plan to do an alien?
We just wanted to do a film a kind of film that we liked, you know? We liked zombie films, so we did a zombie film. We liked action films, so we did an action film, and this was an extension of that, essentially, you know?
We've never set out to sort of spoof anything really either. I mean, I would say Shaun of the Dead is a zombie film. It just happens to have a comedy side to it. If it's a spoof of anything, it's a spoof of romantic comedies, because it's kind of, we make fun of the plot of a romantic comedy by bringing the zombies in. Hot Fuzz, I guess, is this slightly more kind of, absurd, because we're taking those grand beats of action movies and putting them in a little English village. But Paula is not. We don't make any comment on science fiction in Paul. It's a science fiction film. It has a science fiction theme, and there aren't any. There's no satire of science fiction in it. Do you know what I mean? We just love science fiction. We happen to be better at doing comedies than dramas, and so it's that's the film it is. So it's not part of a grand plan or anything. It's just we're very lucky to be able to make the kind of films we like to watch.
Well, and I've heard you guys say that this was sort of a love letter to Steven Spielberg in a sense. Was that sort of is that true? Is that sort of was it a tribute to him in a way?
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, I mean, he essentially, should we give it away? We shouldn't give it away, really, but...
Please give it away, come on.
Well, we worked with him on Tintin and stuff, and we used to go just to, even when we weren't working, we'd go and just hang around the monitors just to see him work, and he likes to talk about films he's made, and us being giant Close Encounters fans would say, "Oh, what was it like shooting Close Encounters?" And he'd talk about it. He'd be happy to talk about it. And then, we'd been here and we'd done the road trip that we did for Paul, and we had a. You're right.
I'm looking at it like a pirate. Hello. What are you talking about?
But we had a picture of Paul on Simon's phone, and we kind of said, "Oh, look, this is what we're doing at the moment." And he was like, "Oh, this looks great. Why don't I come and do a little cameo in it?"
We explained to him that Paul had this hotline to him over the years, and he loved the idea that he'd had this sort of advisor, and said, maybe I can be in the movie and call Paul, and we sort of went,
"What?
Okay." Did you just say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get pretty excited when Steven Spielberg says, "Hey, let me be in your movie"?
I know.
Absolutely.
So and also Greg as a director, he started out with films like Sugarland Express and Duel, and and then latterly the kind of populist films of Steven's like E.T. and Close Encounters, as big crowd pleasers, and for him this was his chance to make that kind of film.
Well, tell me about collaborating with Simon and Nick. I mean, there's their story, their script, and then you come on board. What did you see in the script when you first read it that you said, "Oh, I can bring this to this project and make it this"?
I mean, when I do read a script, I try to think about what I might bring that's different than some other director. And I also was intimidated because they've had an incredible collaboration with Edgar Wright, who I think is an amazing director, and I'm a big fan. And I thought, well, I won't direct it like he would because I couldn't. He's peerless, Edgar. But how would I do it, and what would be different about it? And one of the things that occurred to me was, I really like naturalistic comedy performances, and if I could do that with a CG character, if I could actually, lord over a bunch of animators and collaborate with them and with the actors who are voicing the character, whatever, and get a performance that you stop thinking about as being CG, that would be kind of a cool thing to do, because you don't see CG used that way as often. I mean, there's a lot of great animated films, Toy Story, obviously, films like that, where they're all CG, that have a lot of naturalism in their own way. But in kind of live-action mixed movies, it doesn't happen as much. Usually CG characters are, house elves and monsters.
Right. Well, what was the secret? Because Paul really, the character Paul, really comes alive in this film. And you forget that he's CGI. I mean, you forget.
I hope so.
Yeah, you absolutely do. I mean, what was the secret to that? Was it Seth's voice? Was it the motion the captures you did? Or what was the...
I kept trying to figure out, like, what's the thing that's going to make it work, and it turned out to be several things. Part of it's creature design. We were, even though, I mean, the company we hired to do the effects, Double Negative, are amazing, but they were initially designing them in the computer world, and I realized that part of what I think cracking a creature design requires are real artists doing it in the physical world. And we hired a different company, Spectral Motion, who do a lot of Guillermo del Toro films, to help us, and they took the designs that our UK CGI guys are doing and made a sculpture and changed it. And I think having someone who's like studied anatomy really go get in there and try and figure out what he should look like made it much better. And then it's acting, and then it's, you know, when we were shooting, we couldn't have Seth Rogen on set. He was off doing Green Hornet, so I asked Joe Latrulio to be the voice of Paul while we were shooting. It was a huge favor. Really helped Simon and Nick to have someone to play with who could improvise. And then we'd go back and Seth would do some of Joe's improvisations as Paul. And then the rest is the army of animators and really getting them to think about, you know, what's going to communicate to the audience a character. And a lot of it is making him a good listener, making him always present, things like that. All the sort of things you do say to an actor, but now you're saying it to 25 people behind workstations.
The movie obviously is for, you know, the sci-fi fan, the geek fan, but at the same time kind of pokes fun at them a little bit. Were you concerned about sort of... No. What do you think about that, Chris?
It doesn't poke fun at all, you know. If it's a love letter to Steven Spielberg, it's equally a love letter to the attendees of Comic-Con. You know, we would not want to bite the hand that feeds us, so to speak. You know, we are those people. We would be taking the piss out of ourselves. You know,
Graham and Clive, as individuals, are slightly, you know, dysfunctional at first. They live in this little world together. You know, and it's true to say that sci-fi often attracts people like that because it offers a world where things are a lot better and it kind of enables you to sort of indulge in fantasies of acceptance, and, you know, and maybe as a person yourself you aren't so adept socially, but it's not us making fun. Clive and Graham had to be that way in order to then allow Paul to get them to blossom, you know. So you know, it is us as nerds, as fans of this kind of stuff, making a film about ourselves and about those kind of people. So we'd hate to ever go, haha. That's why Comic-Con's great, because it's a place where you can go and you can dress as a stormtrooper and nobody laughs at you.
Right, no one cares. You just fit right in.
Yeah.
And I understand you guys actually took a road trip together to
did.
sort of inspire, you know, what kind of came out of the road trip that's in the script? Anything that's in the film?
Well, it happened here, actually. We're here at the Little Alien, not that you'd know, because obviously this is our backdrop. We are in the middle of the desert here in Nevada, but we came to the Little Alien. I think we were like the only two people in there, weren't we?
Two guys.
Three of us.
There's some guys. Do you remember that we got recognised when we walked in? There were two guys.
Yeah, we driven for like
hey,
10 hours and we hadn't seen anyone. The first people we meet were Shaun of the Dead fans.
But then they left, and these two guys came in.
Yeah, they left, and it was like just us two and the girls at work here. So we're being quite loud and really enjoying ourselves. Kind of two very dangerous kind of hunters came in, like they do in the film, and we just kind of immediately left. We said, "Oh, well, let's go. We should go." You know, the atmosphere really changed. And we got in our hurry and we escaped. We made our escape.
They weren't Hot Fuzz fans, the two hunters.
No, I don't.
No, it's a shame.
I think they were.
They just looked. They looked like they were Fuzz fans, if you know what I'm saying.
No, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what I mean. I don't know. I thought it might have referred to an anal beard or something like that.
We'll be right back.
On March 18th,
I'm Paul. You gonna probe this? What am I doing? Am I harvesting farts?
from the Earthling who directed Superbad,
I really need your help, okay?
comes the story of a little alien in a lot of trouble.
Tell me which way the little green guy went.
Seth Rogen is perfect as Paul.
Morning.
Paul, rated R, in theaters March 18th.